begin your presentation. Strategically. 9. Chapter. McGraw-Hill/Sherwin. ABCS of Selling. 10/E. Copyright 2009 by the McGraw-Hill Companies Incorporated. All rights reserved. Main topics: the tree of business life, the beginning. What is the approach? The right to approach. The approach, opening the sales presentation. Technology and the approach. Is the approach important? Using questions results in sales success. Is the prospect still not listening? Be flexible in your approach. 9 to 2. The beginning. Begin the presentation with an end in mind. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Show great caring, confidence, and excitement in your mind, body, and speech by knowing you can help solve problems. Do not give in to the temptation to exaggerate. You will see that trust, integrity, and character win out in the long run. What is the approach? A golf shot from the fairway toward the green. Steps a bowler takes before delivering the bowling ball. 9 to 4. For the salesperson, what is the approach? The time from when the salesperson first sees the buyer to the beginning of the discussion of the product. The approach could last seconds or minutes and involves meeting, greeting, rapport building. One of the approach communication techniques discussed in this chapter. 9 to 6. The approach is the third step in the selling process, but it's the first step in the sales presentation. Exhibit 9 to 1. The approach begins the sales presentation. The sales presentation method determines how you open your presentation. 9 to 8. Select your presentation method and then your approach. 9 to 9. Caution: salespeople take the approach seriously. Some feel this is the most important step in helping someone. If unsuccessful, you may never have opportunity to move into the presentation. If you cannot tell your story, how will you make the sale? The approach is extremely important. 9 to 10. The approach step of the sales presentation is over when you begin discussing the product itself. Let's summarize. The salesperson meets, greets, builds rapport, goes through the approach, discusses the product, discusses the marketing plan, discusses the business proposition, closes, asks for the order. The right to approach. You have to prove you are worthy of the prospect's time and serious attention by exhibiting specific product or business knowledge, expressing a sincere desire to solve the buyer's problem and satisfy a need, stating or implying that your product will save money or increase the firm's profit margin, displaying a service attitude. 9 to 13. The approach opening the sales presentation. A buyer's reactions to the salesperson in the early minutes of the presentation are critical to a successful sale. Your attitude during the approach. It is common for a salesperson to experience tension in various forms when contacting a prospect. Successful salespeople have learned to use creative imagery to relax and concentrate. 9 to 14. The first impression you make is critical to success. Your first impression is projected by appearance, attitude. You only have one chance to make a favorable first impression. 9 to 15. To make a favorable impression. Wear business clothes that are suitable and fairly conservative. Be neat in dress and grooming. Refrain from smoking, chewing gum, or drinking in your prospect's office. Keep an erect posture. Leave all unnecessary materials outside the office. If possible, sit down. Be enthusiastic and positive throughout the interview. Smile. 9 to 16. To make a favorable impression, can't. Be enthusiastic and positive throughout the interview. Smile. Do not not apologize for taking the prospect's time. Do not imply that you were just passing by. Maintain eye contact. If the prospect offers to shake hands, do so with a firm, positive grip while maintaining eye contact. Learn how to pronounce the prospect's name correctly. 9 to 17. Exhibit 9 to 4. 5 ways to remember prospect's name. Be sure to hear the person's name and use it. It's good to meet you, Mr. Firestone. Spell it out in your mind, or if it is an unusual name, ask the person to spell the name. Relate the name to something you are familiar with, such as relating the name Firestone to Firestone automobile tires or a hot rock/stone. Use the name in conversation. Repeat the name at the end of the conversation, such as goodbye, Mr. Firestone. 9 to 18. Small talk warms them up. In most sales calls, the approach consists of 2 parts. The small talk or rapport building phase. Weather, stock market, sports, etc. Planned, formal, selling technique used as a lead into the upcoming discussion of the product. Statement, demonstration, or questions. Approach categories: opening with a statement. Opening with a demonstration. Opening with a question or questions. Exhibit 9 to 5. The approach techniques for each of the 4 sales presentation methods. 9 to 21. Objectives of both statement and demonstration approach techniques. Capture the attention of prospect. Stimulate prospect's interest. To provide a transition into the sales presentation. The situational approach. The situation you face determines which approach technique you use. Influences on the approach to use include type of product being sold, whether the call is a repeat call on same person, degree of knowledge about customers' needs, amount of time for sales presentation, whether customer is aware of a problem. The approach leads quickly into the sales presentation. 9 to 24. Objectives of using questions approach technique. Uncover needs and problems. Does prospect want to fulfill his needs? Does prospect want to solve her problems? Have prospect tell you about needs, problems, intention to do something about them. Exhibit 9 to 6. Approach techniques for opening the presentation. 9 to 26. The golden rule. Follow the golden rule by placing the other person's interest before your self-interest. This will avoid losing the sale, destroying your business relationship. 9 to 27. The golden rule: avoid temptation to overhype your product. This will only create problems down the road. Opening with statements. Introductory approach. Complementary approach. Referral approach. Premium approach. 9 to 29. Opening with statements. Introductory approach. Needed when meeting prospect for first time. Least powerful. Used in conjunction with another approach. Complementary approach. Stimulates interest and goodwill. Must be sincere. Opening with statements. Referral approach. Use of someone's name whom your prospect respects. Premium approach. Giving prospect a sample of your product for free. Demonstration openings. Product approach. Showmanship approach. 9 to 32. Demonstration openings. Product approach. Salesperson silently hands the prospect his product and waits for the prospect to start the conversation. Showmanship approach. Salesperson does something unusual to capture prospect's attention. Opening with questions. Most common openers. Customer benefit approach. Curiosity approach. Opinion approach. Shock approach. 9 to 34. The approach. Opening the sales presentation cont. Opening with questions. Most common of openers, prospect participation. Customer benefit approach. Asking a prospect a question that implies that the product will benefit her. Curiosity approach. Make the prospect curious about your product. Opinion approach. Ask prospect for his opinion on your product. Shock approach. Use of a question phrase to make the prospect think seriously about a subject related to your product. The approach, opening the sales presentation cont. Multiple question approach, SPIN, in proper sequence. Situation, the prospect's general as it relates to your product. Situation. Problem, specific, dissatisfactions, or difficulties perceived by the prospect relative to your situation question. Problems. Implication, of the prospect's problems or how a problem affects various related operational aspects of a home, life, or business. Implications. Need payoff questions, if the prospect has an important, explicit need. The approach, opening the sales presentation cont. What do you notice about SPIN? Exhibit 9 to 10. A popular multiple question approach is the SPIN. The product is not mentioned in SPIN. Technology and the approach. Powerful attention grabbers. Sounds. Visuals. Touch. 9 to 39. Is the approach important? Yes, it is. Salespeople need several approach techniques that have worked in the past to select the approach for a current situation. 9 to 40. Remember to select your presentation method and then your approach. Using questions result in sales success. Asking questions is an excellent technique for obtaining information from the prospect, developing two-way communication, increasing prospect participation. Using questions results in sales success. 4 types of questions. 1. The direct question. 2. The non-directive question. 3. The rephrasing question. 4. The redirect question. The direct question, closed-ended. Requires a short answer, usually yes or no. The direct question can be answered with a few words such as, Mr. Jones, is reducing manufacturing costs important to you? What kind? How many? Never phrase as a direct negative or a question that can cut you off. Example, may I help you? The direct question limitations. Does not really tell you much. There is little feedback information. 9 to 46. The non-directive, or open-ended, question begins with who, what, where, when, how, or why. Who will use this product? What features are you looking for in a product like this? Its purpose is to obtain unknown or additional information. 9 to 47. The rephrasing question allows salesperson to better clarify what the prospect means, thereby better determine prospect's needs. The rephrasing question is useful if you are unclear and need to clarify the meaning of something said. Are you saying that price is the most important thing you are interested in? Then what you are saying is, if I can improve the delivery time, you would be interested in buying. The redirect question. Excellent alternative or backup opener. The redirect question. Used to change the direction of the conversation, often from a negative to a positive. Imagine you walk into a prospect's office, introduce yourself, and get this response. I'm sorry, but there is no use in talking. We are satisfied with our present suppliers. Thanks for coming by. A redirect question would be, wouldn't you agree that you continually need to find new ways to increase your company's sales? Do we agree that having a suppler who can reduce your costs is important? 9 to 51. 3 rules for using questions. 1. Use only questions that you can anticipate the answer to or that will not lead you into a situation from which you cannot escape. 2. Pause or wait after submitting a question. 3. Listen. 9 to 52. Is the prospect still not listening? This is the time to use an alternative opener that forces the prospect to participate by using the question approach, demonstration approach. The salesperson who can deftly capture another person's imagination earns the right to a prospect's full attention and interest. Is the prospect still not listening? Can't. Quickly hand or simply show prospect the product. Ask prospect a question. Attention can be briefly recaptured. Be flexible in your approach. Be willing and ready to change your planned approach. That is why you need several methods to open your sales presentation. Skip video. Video help. 9 to 55. Summary of major selling issues. The approach is the critical factor. Use a statement or demonstration approach to ensure your prospect's attention and interest. The first impression you make can negate your otherwise positive and sincere opening. Open with a statement, question, or demonstration.